I am the Chief Executive of the Institute of Architects, but I am wearing a suit and a tie, but I'm actually a chartered accountant by qualification. So I'm not sure whether that gets me off the hook or not, but anyway. I think we'll touch on some similar points and but also draw out some things respective to the RIBA. But by way of introduction, the RIBA itself, like many professional bodies and by Royal Charter, has a purpose, and ours is to seek the general advancement of civil architecture. And in doing that, it recognises the significant role of architects, in particular, in shaping communities and society as a whole. Like many other organisations which are represented here today, in 2015 we became a signatory of the UN's Global Compact, and in doing so, publicly restated our commitment to sustainability and to professionalism. This commitment is also actually enshrined in our strategic vision as a global professional membership body, being ethical, inclusive, environmentally aware and collaborative in everything that we do. At the RIBA, we're very much about encouraging our members and chartered practices to become leaders within the architectural profession, to drive ethics forward, to be more professional, and to encourage sustainability in what's very much an increasingly internationalised context nowadays. So I was personally very excited by the opportunities presented to our membership and to the RIBA through the work that we've done with the UN Global Compact. And as most of you know, the UN Global Compact principles are derived from UN treaties such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the UN's Convention Against Corruption. They represent a truly global standard that's relevant and applicable in every market. The RIBA is very much committed to supporting and to promoting these principles, both internally in the organisation and of course externally throughout the profession which we represent. The impact then, if I look particularly about the role of an architect, the impact of an architect's work extends well beyond the physical structures that he or she designs. Architects are uniquely placed, as are many professional members, but uniquely placed to influence how places are shaped, how they function, and who they engage in the process. They've got a tremendous opportunity and indeed absolutely a responsibility to make sure that this is a positive influence. Now, balancing the sometimes conflicting aspects of a building project, environmental, social and economic, along with a myriad of other requirements, is a fundamental purpose of the role of an architect. The global sustainability and the ethical agenda, particularly in construction, has been evolving over the last few years, and it's moving towards a more holistic approach that incorporates these same social, economic and environmental considerations that architects have had top of mind for some time now. The best projects that our members are involved with consider not only good design principles and the environment, but they also assess, as a matter of course, the impact of construction and buildings on people through inclusive design in health, safety and well-being. Now, as you know, the Sustainable Development Goals, which are at the heart of the UN's Global Compact, were agreed by all 193 member states of the United Nations in September 2015, after what was an unprecedented 3-year consultation process. They consist of 17 high-level goals backed up by 179 specific targets covering 4 key areas: human rights, which extends to and involves issues of modern slavery, labour laws, which includes laws directed at modern slavery, the environment, anti-corruption and bribery. Some crisp numbers, and it all sounds pretty simple. However, having worked at the United Nations in Geneva from 2009 to 2011, I know how hard it is to take the stuff that's sort of agreed at the UN. Well, I know how hard it is to agree it at the UN in the first place, but to take that into embedding it into everyday life. So how do you take UN initiatives into everyday business practice? How do you ensure that those principles and aspirations have the practical impact intended? So I guess I've had the experience of agreeing those principles on a global scale, and it was pretty exciting stuff, but the hard work starts, well now, but into the future. So let's have a look at what those Sustainable Development Goals look like in architectural practice. How are these high-level global goals translated into everyday work? Well, from the strategic definition and briefing stages onwards, architects can influence the ethics and the sustainability of a project by integrating traditional creative and technical skills with an up-to-date understanding of environmental, social and economic issues. A little bit of a clue in there about learning and knowledge, which I'll come on to. But it's becoming very much more common to find ethical and sustainability criteria included in project briefs, such as social usefulness and value, ethical sourcing, life cycle costs. The best clients want their projects to exceed the minimum standards for sustainability nowadays, for inclusion, for health, for safety, and for well-being. They want to demonstrate social value, they want to support their own community engagement, or they want to further broaden their corporate social responsibility aspirations. Again, architects are well placed, if not uniquely placed, to raise awareness of these issues with clients, to influence clients and other construction industry professionals, and to collaborate with them, as we've heard before. From setting aspirations at that initial strategic project stage through to delivery, post-occupancy, and the full life cycle of the building itself. Personally, as the Chief Executive, I see the RIBA's role as a professional institute, and one of the key roles anyway, is ensuring that our members are equipped with the right information, the right knowledge and an understanding of ethical issues, of the challenges and the solutions that they can need, and the necessary skills to address these issues very productively with their clients. This does and will result in better buildings, better places, better spaces that support and enhance local communities and environments. Moreover, it will result in more ethical construction practices, which will help to eradicate modern slavery, bribery and corruption, whether it's in the UK or overseas. A few examples of what this means for the support we provide to our charter practices and members, with the aim of developing a well-rounded ethical approach to design and to construction. On human rights, we support our members to develop their own human rights policies and to engage in pro bono work to support human rights. On labour laws, we equip them to produce a slavery and human trafficking statement, engaging with the requirements of the Modern Slavery Act. And we encourage and influence other construction industry professionals to examine their own practices. And on knowledge, we provide CPD on how to incorporate sustainability at all stages of a project and on how to avoid and respond to situations of alleged bribery and corruption. In July, the RIBA published a reference document, UN Sustainable Development Goals in Practice, which provides information on ethics and sustainability in collaboration with the UN Global Compact. The publication was aimed at stimulating discussion within the architectural field and more broadly across the construction sector on issues of human rights, labour laws, the environment and bribery and corruption. The document looked at the Sustainable Development Goals and it looked at how they could be supported through and within architectural practice. We highlighted issues that our members should consider and that they should be alert to. And we provided them with direction and useful resources to assist them in dealing with the ethical challenges in their everyday work. And that document is available on our website, architecture.com, a quick plug. That's just one step, though, in our work. It's about raising the bar within the architectural profession and providing information and guidance to members on ethical issues that include challenges such as modern slavery. That publication is soon to be followed by 3 case studies we're preparing, following interviews with architectural practices, and they examine the ethical considerations of those practices, the challenges that they face, how they prioritise those key issues, how they engage with their own supply chains, how they influence and engage with other industry professionals, and what they anticipate to be future ethical challenges for themselves as individuals and for them collectively as practices, but also for the profession as a whole. We're also soon to publish a series of what we're calling ethical dilemmas, highlighting key issues which may face many of our members, such as modern slavery, corruption, ethical sourcing, equality and diversity, and green sustainability. Together with these dilemmas, we're going to be providing our members with guidance on how they might approach each situation and relevant resources they may wish to use to inform their own responses. And a few headlines of what else is to come, particularly with respect to equipping members to tackle modern slavery issues in construction. The RIBA intends to become a signatory to the Gangmasters and Labour Abuse Authority Construction Protocol. There's an acronym. So that we can share information and be involved in the conversation about tackling modern slavery across the construction industry. We'll look to lead by example, and we'll look to encourage our members to also support the protocol. We're also developing several core CPD sessions which are focused on ethical issues such as ethical supply chains. We're ensuring ethics are at the forefront of our professional events and conferences, including our flagship CPD event for small and medium-sized practices, Guerrilla Tactics, which is coming up soon in the middle of November. During the CPD day on the 15th of November, attendees will be able to attend a particularly interesting interactive panel on ethical supply chains in architecture and across the profession and sector more broadly, and an interactive panel session on what an ethical architecture practice looks like and how architects can achieve an ethical practice. I'm also delighted to announce that the RIBA is establishing an Ethics and Sustainability Commission after the RIBA's council approval of the initiative just a few months ago in July. This group will map our current ethical and sustainability activities, will identify areas for future work, will advise the RIBA on ethical and sustainability issues. The Commission will be consulting very widely and will be calling for evidence not just from architects and practices, but from other construction industry professionals and other membership bodies. So we'll be collaborating, as we've heard before, with other sectors, or with other professional bodies. And my team and I look forward to engaging with many of you and others on this work. Finally, we're conducting a very thorough review and an overhaul indeed of our Code of Professional Conduct and our Code of Practice, together with all of the supporting guidance documents, rules and regulations. The Modern Slavery Act, the Sustainable Development Goals, the New Urban Agenda, together with other pieces of legislation and reference material, political events and industry phenomena, have all highlighted the need to scrutinise the standards expected of our members, to ensure that they're not only fit for purpose but also best in class, and that we're raising the bar and setting an example across the industry, as many other bodies are doing. To make progress then and to properly support our members, we want to collaborate more broadly across the sector. We look forward then to working with many of you over the coming months to raise awareness and to stimulate debate, not only debate on these issues, but most importantly to deliver positive and sustainable change. Thank you very much indeed.